Hi everyone, my name's Kathy. Welcome to my frugality channel, Skint Living UK. Today I'm making a loaf of bread in my bread maker. I like to make my own bread every now and again. Usually I make a loaf per week because of all the chemicals that are in bread these days, and what I find really strange is that bread that you buy from the shops seems to last forever, they're eternal. So there's definitely something wrong there. If your bread contains other than these ingredients, there's definitely been stuff being added. So pardon for the snorty noises in the background. I've got a scroungy dog. I've just been given a treat and now she won't go away. And as I always say, if I'm filming in the kitchen, my dog always goes to get a drink of water. Right, so let's start with the dry ingredients. I've got 400 grams of strong bread flour. I tend to mix the white bread flour with a bit of wholemeal, just to give it added flavour and obviously fibre, but you can use whatever flour you want. It could be all wholemeal, all strong, whatever it is you want. I tend to pick it up from Asda or Tesco's. I think that it's good value and at least you know what's in it. If you haven't got a weighing scales like I have, I find if you do a scooped tablespoon like this, that equals 20 grams. So in this example here, it's got 400 grams. So you just keep adding 20 grams to the mixing dish. It comes with like a little bucket, and at the bottom is a little paddle that comes off if you're baking. Sorry, it's a bit dark. And I tend to put my dry ingredients in first and then I put the wet ingredients after. So I'm going to start off with the 400 grams of strong white flour, and as I said, I've added some wholemeal as well. So I'm going to tip that in. Next on the list in the dry ingredients is 1¼ tablespoons of salt. I just do a big dash, especially if you've got a grinder. It's not so easy to measure. I don't think the salt has to be precise, but obviously not too much. The salt really is a preservative. It's not really for anything else, and I've noticed not a lot now in the shops that the salt content is very high. I think I notice it more now because I'm making my own bread. When I buy something like rolls and baps, it tastes really salty. So yeah, I think that's why the eternal lasts for so long. Okay, after salt, what have we got? 2 tablespoons of sugar. Okay. Oh, it's a bit crusty. It's because I don't use sugar that often, really, because I buy enough sweet treats. So I don't really, unless I'm baking a bread and butter pudding or a crumble or something, I don't tend to use sugar that much. Okay, so that's the sugar. So I've added the flour, the salt and the sugar. Now fast acting yeast. You can pick up yeast in most supermarkets. I get mine from Aldi. You get 8 sachets. They come in 2 packets like that inside. So I cut them down the middle, cut it open and pour it in. That's simple. So in here I've got the flour, I've got the sugar, I've got a sprinkling of salt, and now I've got the yeast. Okay, so the next ingredient to add in the wet ingredients now is water, 225 ml. If you haven't got a measuring jug, did you know a typical mug that you drink from has 350 ml? So if you're looking for 225, it's about 2/3 of a mug. So it just has to be precise. So if you haven't got a measuring jug or cup, use 2/3 of your mug. Got my jug here. Just get it out of the way. Just plain old water, nothing fancy. Chuck that in. And then last but no means least, some sort of vegetable oil. The only oil I buy is olive oil, so I'm going to use that. So this should be fun because I've only got one hand. I'll have a little look. So I've done one. Chuck it in. And another one. And chuck it in. Gosh, that wasn't easy when you're trying to film and pour things in at the same time. Okay, so I'll pause over the ingredients again. 225 ml of water, 400 grams of strong white bread flour. It has to be bread flour, normal plain flour, so raisin flour won't do. 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, any oil will do. I've just used olive oil because that's the only oil I buy. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'll just do a sprinkling like I did. 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of fast-acting yeast, or in my case just a sachet that I get from Aldi. Really easy to do. And then if you look on your settings, it's got 1 through to 15. If you're baking cakes, for example, it's number 12. And if it's bread, it's number 1, and that's just basic. Yeah, it takes 3 hours, which sounds like a long time and uses loads of energy, but I assure you it doesn't, because most of the time it's sitting in there proving. It's just, it heats up, it's warm, the heat shuts down, and it's just sitting there in the warmth, rising, proving. So most of the time it's not actually cooking. So if you're thinking it's using loads of energy, it doesn't, and obviously it's a lot less than putting your oven on. So I'm going to put the lid down, and then hope you can see. If you go to the menu button, you can change the number of the settings, or you can change the time. And I'm just going to press, hope you can see it, start. And there you go. So what you can hear is it kneading it, because in the middle is a paddle. And the red light indicates that it's on. And like I said, most of the time it's not doing anything, it's just sitting there waiting for the bread to rise, waiting for the bread to prove. So it's not using loads and loads of energy, and like I said, you're not kneading it yourself, you're not messing about with it yourself, you're not making a mess everywhere with your hands. It's great for me because I've got arthritis in my hands, so I haven't got to faff about kneading the bread. It does all the work for me, and I've had this for 5 years, this bread maker, and I've not had a problem with it. So I highly recommend it. If you've got the space in your kitchen, stick it in your cupboard out the way, and I'll pull it out once every few days, or like I do, I just do it once a week. And if there's any bread over, I give it to the birdies in the parlour, or make a nice yummy bread and butter pudding. So I hope it's been of some help to you. If you're thinking of buying a bread maker, I can't praise them highly enough. Like I said, I do fruity cakes in here, like the stodgy ones you had in school with custard. It's great for that. So if you've got bits of leftover fruit, tin fruit, or what I do is I grab a handful of frozen fruit and let it defrost overnight. Just throw it in a bowl, leave it in the microwave to defrost, and then I make me cake then. And like I said, there's a setting there 12 for bake, and that takes an hour, and it's much better than having a ginormous oven on just for one little thing. So please like, share and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will do a short video showing the loaf being taken out the bread maker and put on a plate, and I will show the finished loaf on the picture at the beginning of the video, so you can see what it sort of looks like. Bear in mind, I do use a little bit of wholemeal flour. It's not a completely white loaf, so it does have a little tinge of brown. Bye for now, and I hope to see you soon.